CMMCS returned to action at Brands Hatch on the 19th of August with an exciting double-header with both Super Saloons and TinTops running their own races. Qualifying for the Super Saloons saw 14 cars take to the track, with Adrian Bradley setting the pace in his BMW E46. Initially, Rob Birley was second in his E36, but then Alex Sidwell got his Holden Commodore into its stride and ended up just 0.183 of a second behind Adrian. Next to Birley in third would be Clive Hainsford with his Mazda RX-8, running as a guest entry. Fifth quickest was Martin Reynolds in his MK2 Ford Escort, and Mark Cripps in the BMW M3 should have been alongside, except a misfire meant he was a non-starter. Next up were a trio of BMWs, headed by Peter Selden in his Class D E36, Andrew Mackenzie in his Class A E46 V8, and Ronan Bradley in his Class B E36. Dave Avis was 10th in his Volkswagen Golf, followed by Martin Scott, Jakes Whitehead and Lee Clue. Andy Woods-Dean had another troubled time with his Holden Commodore, managing just one lap. He also withdrew whilst Whitehead missed the first race. The rolling start saw Bradley head the field into Paddock Hill Bend, with Birley sneaking past Sidwell into second. At the end of the first lap, Sidwell used the V8 power to regain second place. On lap 2, Sidwell did the same to Bradley and took the lead. From there on, the big Aussie V8 gapped the red BMW by nearly 5 seconds after 9 laps. This shrunk a bit over the closing laps, but it was still 2.5 seconds at the checkered flag. Birley was holding on to third spot, but coming under pressure from Reynolds, who really had his Escort on song. It was only in the last 3 laps that the black BMW edged clear. Hainsford was 4th for the first 5 laps, but once Reynolds got past, he slipped back towards the Backlund duo of Selden and Ronan Bradley. Again, these two were initially behind Mackenzie, but he retired on lap 5. The 2 BMWs caught the Mazda on lap 12, Selden got by 2 laps later, whilst Ronan did the pair of them on lap 17. So behind Reynolds, who won Class C, the order was Ronan Bradley, Selden, who was winning Class B, and then Hainsford. A terrific scrap between Scott and Avis just went in Martin's favour, although Dave got the Caesar Electrical Driver of the Race award. Clue completed the 10 finishes. At the end of race 1 in the Caesar Electrical Super Saloons, it's Alex Sidwell coming out on top, with Andrew Bradley in second and the highest out of those in Class B. Rob Birley was third, ahead of Martin Reynolds. Ronan Bradley was a fine 5th, ahead of Peter Sheldon, Clive Hainsford, Martin Scott, Dave Avis and Lee Clue rounding out the finishers. Andrew Mackenzie was the only driver to not finish. Race 2 saw Sidwell lead away with Adrian Bradley slipping into second and Birley in third. The 2 leaders quickly drew away, whilst Birley had Reynolds for company again. Initially it looked like Sidwell was in control as he opened up a 2.5 second gap. But then Adrian started to close up. By lap 8 it was less than a second, and the next 5 laps saw the 2 cars nose to tail. On lap 14, the decisive move was made at Clearways, and the E46 took the lead. It stayed close right to the end, but Adrian took the win with Alex a very close second. Birley was hounded by Reynolds for the whole race, and it was equally close, as just 0.7 of a second separated them. The next battle was for 5th, as Ronan Bradley and Selden renewed their tussle, with Selden getting the upper hand this time. Hainsford found his Mazda losing power, but carried on to take 7th and the Driver of the Race award. Avis got past Scott on lap 3 and steadily pulled clear to take 2nd in Class D. Behind Scott it was Whitehead, with Clue again completing the finishes. Mackenzie dropped out as his misfire returned. At the end of the second race of the Caesar Electrical Super Saloons, Andrew Bradley comes out on top, one better than in the first race. Alex Sidwell was second, followed by Rob Birley, the highest of those again in Class A. Martin Reynolds in 4th, ahead of Peter Sheldon, Ronan Bradley in 6th, Clive Hainsford, Dave Avis, Martin Scott, Jakes Whitehead and Lee Clue running out the finishers, with Andrew Mackenzie once again not finishing. The CMMCS returns to action on the 16th of September for all 3 series at Brands Hatch. Be sure to join us at the track and enjoy the racing for yourself.